Before the rain fell, before the waters covered the earth, there was a world that had forgotten its creator. A world filled with ambition, violence, and darkness. But in the middle of a generation that turned away from God, one man stood alone. His name was Noah. For 120 years, one man preached while the world laughed. The earth was once filled with people who knew the stories of God. They had heard about creation. They had heard about the Garden of Eden. They knew the warnings passed down from generation to generation. But knowing about God did not always lead people to obey Him. Human hearts became filled with selfishness. Evil thoughts controlled their actions. Violence became normal. People chased their own desires. They built their lives around pride, wealth, and pleasure, forgetting the one who gave them life. The world had become so corrupted that God looked upon the earth and saw that humanity had chosen darkness instead of righteousness. But there was one man who was different. His name was Noah. Noah was not different because he was stronger than everyone else. He was different because he trusted God. While the world walked away from God, Noah walked with Him. Noah lived in a time when doing what was right was unpopular. When others followed the crowd, Noah followed the voice of God. And because Noah walked in faith, God revealed to him what was coming. God said, "Noah, the earth is filled with violence because of mankind. I am going to bring a great flood upon the earth. Build an ark of wood. Make rooms inside it. Cover it with pitch. Bring your family into the ark and preserve life." Imagine hearing a message like this. Imagine being told that a great flood was coming when nobody had ever seen anything like it before. Imagine warning people about judgment when everyone around you believed life would continue exactly as it always had. But Noah believed God. He began building the ark, a massive ship unlike anything the world had ever seen. Year after year, Noah worked. Decade after decade, he continued. For 120 years, Noah preached righteousness and warned the people. But the world laughed. They looked at the man building a giant boat on dry land and thought he had lost his mind. They asked, "Where is this flood you keep talking about?" They mocked him. They ignored him. They continued living as if tomorrow was guaranteed. But Noah did not build the ark because people believed him. He built it because God had spoken. Faith is not always about seeing what is ahead. Sometimes faith is obeying God even when nobody understands. For 120 years, Noah remained faithful. While people chased temporary pleasures, Noah prepared for God's promise. While others ignored the warning, Noah kept working. Then, one day, the ark was finished. The massive structure stood as a reminder that God's word could be trusted. The people had seen the ark being built for generations. They had heard Noah's message for 120 years. The warning was right before their eyes, but they still refused to believe. Then, something happened that no one expected. Animals began coming. From every direction, creatures of all kinds came toward the ark. 2 by 2, they entered. The people watched. Some were confused. Some were amazed. Some still laughed. But the moment had arrived. Noah entered the ark with his wife, his sons, and their wives. The animals were inside. The supplies were prepared. And then the door was closed. For years, Noah had warned them. For years, he had given them an opportunity to turn back to God. But now the time had come. Then the first drop of rain fell. The sky grew dark. The clouds covered the earth, and suddenly the world that had laughed began to realize that Noah's warning was true. The heavens opened, rain poured down, the waters rose, the fountains of the deep burst open. The people who once mocked Noah now searched for safety. The laughter stopped. The pride disappeared. The world finally understood that God's word was not a joke. Inside the ark, Noah and his family waited. They could hear the storm outside. They could feel the waves moving beneath them. But they were safe because they trusted God's promise. The flood covered the earth, but God remembered Noah. After many days, the rain stopped. The waters began to go down. The ark rested upon the mountains. Noah waited patiently for God's timing. He did not rush. He trusted. When the earth was ready, God opened the door. Noah and his family stepped on to a new beginning. The first thing Noah did was worship God. He built an altar and gave thanks. Then God placed a rainbow in the sky as a promise, a reminder that God keeps his word. The story of Noah is not only about a flood. It is about faith when nobody believes. It is about obedience when the world chooses another path. It is about trusting God even when the journey is difficult. Noah teaches us that faithfulness matters, that God's timing can be trusted, and that one person willing to obey God can make a difference. The question is not whether Noah heard God's warning. The question is, when God speaks, will we listen? Walk with God, trust His word, and prepare your heart.